Hi everybody, welcome to Bette's Makes. Today we're going to tackle Advent tag number 22, so I will see you over in Design Space. All right, welcome into Design Space. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to make a new project. Then we're going to go into the shapes menu and we're going to grab this shape here and we're just going to squish it. And this is going to be the bottom of the candy cane that we're going to make here. So I'm just going to warn you now, this is going to take a rather long time because I was just fiddling around and trying to figure out how things were going. But you'll be able to see me go through the process of creating a shape with all the free shapes. If it generally doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. If it does, it does. But then this way you get to see the entire process. So what I did is I grabbed another rectangle piece and I'm just guesstimating how tall I want the stick of my candy cane to be. So I'm going to grab both those shapes. I'm going to align it horizontally and then I'm going to weld. So I've got this nice little stick shape here that I can use for my candy cane. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look in the shapes menu again and try to figure out what else I want to add to my candy cane here. So I figure we will use a circle. So what you see me doing here is just trying to figure out how this is going to look put together. So you're just going to see me thinking about this for a little bit and sort of generally plotting out how I want this candy cane to look. So I am just duplicating that circle and just kind of moving it about to where I think the hook part of the candy cane will go. And now I'm just duplicating and doing the general arch of the top of the candy cane so I can figure out where the bottom part will go. So as you can see, it's a lot of guesstimation to get where you want to go with some of these shapes. Now, it would have been probably easier if I went onto Creative Fabrica or onto Vecteezy or any other vector site and found a candy cane, but I was very determined to make this candy cane all by myself in Design Space. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine all these circles. I don't know why I'm doing it one at a time because I'm pretty sure I could have selected them all and combined them and welded them together. But I'm just doing it this way. And I am going to make this very odd blobby shape now to put on top of my little candy cane stick. So now I have this blobby shape. It sort of looks like a candy cane. So now I'm trying to find a shape that will go into this little blobby thing and cut out a little bit of the middle. So I know it needs to arch. And I think it needs to go right about there. And I'm just going to slice. So take those slice bits away. And now I have sort of half of a candy cane piece. So I'm going to take this other small piece here, and I'm just going to resize it a little bit. And I've checked the width of the one that I had made earlier, and now I'm just checking the width of this one. And then I'm just going to add it on the end here and sort of just figure out how far away I want the candy cane to bend. So once I'm comfortable with where I want it to be, that looks about right. Then I'm going to take the weird circle shape that I had made and the new shape, and I'm going to combine and weld. So now it's starting to look a little more like a candy cane the more that I do this. So now I am just adding another circle, and I am resizing it to fit in the general shape that I want. So I got to figure out how I'm going to get that little slice out there. And so I'm just going to play with ovals and circles until I can find a nice shape that I want to cut out. So I figure the shape looks good, but I don't like the way it's pointy at the ends. So I'm just kind of resizing it how I like the arch. And then that looks good. So I'm going to take the circle piece and the piece that I had just put, and I'm going to slice that out. I'm going to move that off to the side. And as you can see, it's just nicely sliced out. So I'm going to realign that. Then I'm going to take that piece that I just cut out, and then I'm going to line it up right around there. And then I'm going to take that piece and the second piece, and I'm going to slice. And then I'm going to take the pieces out, and then I'm going to repeat. I'm just going to line that up again. And I'm going to do that until I have the hole completely cut out. All right, now I have that completely cut out. Now I know how I want it to fit on here and be a candy cane. So what I'm going to do is, if you notice, there's a little piece sticking out there, and I'm going to find a way to slice that out. So I'm going through my slice results, and I'm going to weld it to my weird original circly shape. I don't know why I sliced it there. All right, so I pressed undo, and I took a copy of that one piece, and now I'm going back to the thing, and I'm slicing again, and I'm just removing the pieces that I've sliced out. And then I'm going to place this back onto my candy cane shape. I'm going to get rid of all the pieces that I don't need. And then I'm going back into the shapes menu and looking for my little end piece for my candy cane. So I'm going to place that onto the end, and I'm going to shrink it down until it fits. Just aligning it up, seeing how I like it. I do notice that there is a piece sticking out there, but that's all right. And I think that looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a copy of this, and then I'm going to slice that corner off, but I can't figure out what I've done wrong here. All right, so I'm going to do those two shapes, and then I'm going to weld them together. And then I'm going to weld those two shapes together. So now we have one coherent candy cane, and now I'm just going to slice that little edge off there, and I'm just going to use this piece here because we just have to get rid of that one triangle bit and we should be good to go. So what you see me doing here is putting a shape inside of a shape just so I can slice it out so I can make the curve that I need to match up with the curve of the candy cane. So I'm going to go and I'm going to slice that, and then I'm going to remove our sliced bits, and then I'm just going to fit it right up underneath there. I'm going to lower that down just so so it doesn't hurt our candy cane. And then I'm just going to bump it up a little bit here. Move it over slightly. There we go. And then I'm just going to take the candy cane shape. Just going to lower it just a little bit. Then I'm going to select all and then slice. And there you have it. We got rid of that. And we've made a candy cane out of the two. And I notice there's a small little black dot there, so I'm just going to cover it there. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to slice. There we go. So now we have no black dot. All right. So now that our candy cane is made, I will save this and meet you over at the demo table. All right, so now we have our little candy cane cut out from Design Space. It is about 5 inches tall and I think around 3.5 inches wide altogether. So what I have here is a de-stress crayon, and you can use any kind of crayon or watercolor pencil. What I'm doing is I'm just going to color our candy cane stripes right onto the card here. So you can do that. You can use acrylic paints, watercolor pencils. You can use water crayons, pastels, pretty much anything here. What I like about these de-stress ink crayons is I can put water on top of them and they look great. So I'm not really being all that careful. I'm just getting the color in. I'm going to put the lid on. And then I'm going to grab a water brush. I do believe I have a water brush. If not, I'm just going to grab a paintbrush and some water. So the only paintbrush I could find is this Chinese calligraphy brush, but that'll work fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little bit of water on the end of my brush here, and I'm just going to brush it gently over the distressed crayon here and just make my stripes a little more cohesive and watercolory looking. So I'm going to do that for the whole candy cane. Now after doing all that, I've got some extra paint on my brush, so I'm just drawing in little tiny stripes in with the extra bit of pigment I have on my brush, and I think that makes it really pop. I really like the way it's turned out. So the next thing I want to do is I want to let it dry a little bit. So I'm just going to dab it with a piece of tissue and just make sure that it's dried off a little bit. And then I'm going to just make sure that there's no bristles. So just dab it up again. And then I'm going to take my distressed ink and I'm going to put the ink all around and actually shade this in with the twig ink. So I'm going to shade around the edges so it looks like it's cylindrical and an actual candy cane. So I will fast forward through this while you're watching me shade with my ink dauber, and I will see you after that. All right, now that we're done with the shading, we are done with this Christmas tag. Now look at how the shading makes it look cylindrical. I really like the way that's turned out. So I'm just going to put my brush away here, and then we're going to open up our Advent book here, and we're going to put this in its spot, number 22. Just got to watch out for the water there. And there you have it, Advent tag number 22, and that is all done. I hope you had a lot of fun crafting that with me. I can't wait to see you tomorrow for Advent tag 23. Can you believe it? There's only 2 days left. So I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I hope you have a happy time crafting.